How's their sneeze?
Just get it
like
out.
An old man about to say something, like he mad.
Yeah.
Like the Tasmanian devil or something.
How does Papa laugh?
I haven't heard it in a couple of years.
Oh, dang it.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So, we live.
Out of sight, out of mind.
We live.
We live, baby.
Alrighty then. Welcome. Yeah, I'm trying to get my energy up, okay?
Welcome back to another episode of
Excuse me.
I'm speaking.
Ew.
Booker.
Ow.
Know what I mean?
So,
And who's speaking?
you already know who it is. She is Twinkle. She is me. I am her in the building.
All right.
Clap emojis. Clap emojis.
Black clap emojis.
That's right.
Alrighty then.
On
And
Android too. They on Android too.
Oh. Alrighty then. And who else is speaking over here?
My name is Lexi.
Oh, you have a stutter.
First of all, you're disrespectful.
Well, you were like.
Yes,
Some of my best friends have stutters, okay?
Okay. So awkward.
Hopefully Lexa sneezes so y'all can hear her sneeze.
Yeah, whatever.
She might have a Rona. Don't be
I don't
sneezing.
have Rhoda. Don't speak that over my
I'm
life.
just saying, you gotta be careful sneezing nowadays. Alrighty then, and I know y'all heard another voice in the background, but let me do the introduction.
Mysterious voice.
Mysterious, deep voice.
Testosterone.
Girl, don't be hating.
She's definitely a hater.
So, this is special. He is our first guest.
Mark it down, buddy.
And first of many. This is probably his first of many appearances. Yeah, this one hits close to home. This one is my husband, Mr. Whitney Morgan.
Poco.
A little background information. Not only is he a husband, a dad, a son, all that.
In my side.
Girl, shut up. You should hear what he says about you. Anyways, he is also a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And he also works for KCATA. He does credit repair. You know, the jack of all trades. Let's give him a great, warm welcome introduction. Introducing Whitney Morgan.
Thank you, my beautiful black queens. Excuse me, I'm speaking as well.
Okay.
But y'all can speak first.
Okay, question. Since this is your first time on our show, what'd you think of our name?
I thought it was amazing. You talking about the name of the podcast?
Yes.
It's a double. It's a conundrum, or it parallels for how black women have to are reclaiming their time.
Oh yes.
Yes.
This is the time of the black woman.
In the corporate America.
Conundrum. That's a big word.
Oh yeah, we getting a little TI-ish, a little expeditionally today. But yeah, black women reclaiming their time in the corporate setting. No more of being quiet or being spoken over or ridiculed in the boardroom. They're reclaiming their time. They're telling
I wish I had the organ music.
those CEOs and those board members that they're here to stay and they have good ideas and they have something to offer.
Yes.
And if they don't, then they quit and they start their own business.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we all still have jobs, but
we
know,
do, and we
multiple
appreciate our
streams
jobs.
of income. Multiple
We
streams.
appreciate our jobs. Thank you.
Yes, in case you're listening.
We got a job.
Alrighty then. So I'm glad to have Whitney on the show with us today because we have so much to cover, y'all. We will never miss another week, okay, unless something crazy happens in life. But you know, we wasn't here last week. I don't even have an excuse. But this week, we got to give you double for your trouble of not being here. So we may as well just get on into these topics, y'all. Okay, let's pray that Lexi transitions at some point.
First of all, I did the whole introduction.
The whole introduction?
I did.
Okay, anywho, so y'all remember that. Let's get started with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
In West Philadelphia.
Born and raised
Well,
on the playground is where I spent
most of my days.
Chilling out back and relaxing all cool. Shooting on b-ball outside.
I knew you didn't know the words.
First of all, I just didn't, they didn't come out right. I knew the words.
Started making trouble in the neighborhood.
I got in one little fight.
My mom's got scared. She's saying, "With your auntie and uncle in Bel-Air."
Yeah,
hope we don't get
singing
copyrighted
this.
for that.
Well,
yeah, we didn't say all the lyrics correctly, so you can't sue us.
Exactly. That's why I had Lexi sing it. Anyways. So, we just got done watching the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion. This is magical. 30 years later. I know y'all asking which Aunt Viv was on the reunion, y'all.
Both of them.
Both of them. Look at God. Won't he do it?
Yes, he will.
Yeah, so let's just get rid of that elephant in the room. I'm going to start off saying what I did not like about it, okay?
Negative energy. Let's go.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that because, everybody just wants to be like, I love it. I miss it so. Okay, because, first of all, I felt some type of way a long time ago when they suddenly switched Aunt Viv and just expected people not to say nothing.
No explanation.
Like, y'all didn't even try to get an Aunt Viv that looked alike. You went from a dark skin into a light skin Aunt Viv, and tell me how they going to explain Ashley and Carlton, where they come from.
That's true. But if you kind of think about it, if they got someone that looked like her, it's kind of like...
how would that have gone over if they got another?
Okay, but you don't just get a totally different Aunt Viv and be like, "Oh, Aunt Viv, you look different."
So, do you want to give the crowd the reason why they replaced them or the back history?
They was being haters. Okay, so come to find out, the show writers, they were not black. They were white. The good part about the show is that they were letting the cast have input as to like what their characters would say. Yeah. So that was good, but they made a lot of the big decisions, and I personally feel like there could have been some colorism behind it. I don't know if I'm in that by myself.
25%.
Okay, well, this is the thing. The second Aunt Viv, the light-skinned one, come to find out, they wanted her to audition the first time. Mm-hmm. And she decided not to. She had, like, another role she was going for. So, the first Aunt Viv, at her, like, she did it for 3 seasons. And then when it was time to renew her contract, they offered her, like, a really low salary. Although, she played an important role in the show.
Most
like,
definitely.
she, like, her character had, like, soul. Like, a lot of character. Yeah. Like, she brought something to it, just like Uncle Phil did. And the new Aunt Viv was just kind of there to smile and be pretty. Yeah, she really was. Yeah. Like, she had the least lines out of everybody. Jazz may have had more meaning to the show than her.
I loved him.
So when you guys are watching this, put in the comments which Aunt Viv you like better and why. I'm going to go ahead and say dark-skinned Aunt Viv, to what my wife alluded to. She had personality.
Yeah, she did.
OG Aunt Viv.
OG. And then she was checking folks. Like, she made reference to, so go ahead and check that out on HBO Max, but she made reference to, like, scenes where she had on a $5,000 shirt, but then she was taking her earrings off and getting bucked with the police and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I loved it. And plus, I think for it to be, like, a rich black family, to see a dark-skinned woman, like, being, submissive to her husband, that was a black male. Like, it wasn't the black woman that was, like, running the household, which is, like, the stereotype.
That was rare.
Yeah. And so she was still powerful in her own right, but she gave him that respect, too.
Yeah.
And so for them to kind of, like, to take her character away, and, okay, so backstory, I guess her attitude changed on the set in the 3rd season. So she was pregnant, though, like in real life. She was pregnant on the show, but she was pregnant in real life.
The whole time.
Right, they wrote that into the script.
Actresses have kids.
Yeah, I thought she was wearing a fake belly.
Girl, no, she was
possible,
really pregnant.
But no, that was smart. They did that, and then she was also in an abusive relationship at home.
Yeah, and like, of course, she wasn't telling them that, and I heard y'all say while we was watching it that she should have said something. But personally, like, that was her personal business at home. Like, maybe she felt like you have to separate home from work.
Well, I was just saying, from everybody else's perspective, all they know and see is that she's coming to set with a different attitude.
Exactly.
And is maybe not acting in a professional manner.
She's hormonal.
Right.
Okay, but if your personality is going to change in any environment, whether you're at work or around your group of friends, and you're not willing to explain why, don't be surprised when people are mad at you. Like, you can't just be one way one day and then the next day you're a completely different person, and then you expect for everybody to just, like, treat you like normal when you're treating everyone differently. So, like, you don't have to explain what you're going through, but maybe say, hey, you know, I am going through right now, or right now is just not, I'm not that talkative right now. Share something. But you can't have a bad attitude and then you don't want everybody else to be offended, because you never know. Sometimes when we have bad attitudes, we say things or we act a certain way that doesn't necessarily represent who we actually are. So she should give some type of backstory, especially because they said they were around each other every single day. So, like, obviously, her mood affected somebody.
That's true. I clearly affected, like, Will Smith, because they told him, they asked him basically, like, how he felt working with her. And I guess he basically said she's difficult to work with. And from her perspective, as a dark-skinned black woman in, like, Hollywood, in the acting world, that, like, ruined her career after that, because his word,
the kiss of death.
Yeah, like, his word meant a lot because he was the star of the show.
Put a label on her.
Yeah, so they were like, oh, well, if Will doesn't get along with her, then we don't need her. And, like, basically, when she was like, no, I'm worth more than what y'all are trying to offer me, and her abusive husband at the time didn't have a job, so she was supporting the both of them. She was like, no, I can't accept this. Now, she was probably thinking, oh, they're going to come back with something more. Now, she should have negotiated more.
She should have.
But she didn't, and they were like, okay, cool, and they went back to the light skin on Viv that they wanted to audition to begin with.
I'm not gonna lie, I like both of them. Like,
which one you like better? Stand on it.
Why do you like new on Viv?
She's just sweet. That's it.
No, she's not. Anybody can look sweet. She looks like a grandma.
She's sweet. She's just a sweet-looking lady.
She didn't even say anything.
Okay, but she was a sweet lady. Like, she was just a part of the show as, like, the sweet
Okay, think of
lady.
Will Smith's mama that came on the show that would come and visit. That don't seem like that's her sister.
You asked her what she liked. That's what she
I want to know why she like her.
No, but I like her because, you know, she's just sweet. I don't dislike the lady. She's just sweet. But then I also like the original.
Can she dance like OG on Viv?
No, but I'm saying the OG on Viv, I liked her artistry better. Like, you could tell she was, like, not saying that the new Aunt Viv was not a actress and all, you know, all that great and stuff, because obviously she had a long career too. But the dynamic that the original OG.
So she was a better actress.
In Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I would have to go with OG because she was amazing. But
all right, so even to close out of this topic, of course, they gave their like condolences to Uncle Phil, who was like the true uncle of the show.
Foundation.
Yes. But how do y'all feel about the characters now? How they look now, or how they've progressed in life since the show?
Well, when we first started watching, I was like, oh my gosh, somebody needs to get Hillary, what's her name, Karen a new
Parsons.
skin routine. Because I was like, oh my gosh. But then the more we started watching, I realized, like, she was older.
She's 54 now.
Yeah, she was older when they started filming that. So I mean, it
no,
makes
if
sense,
she's 54 30 years ago.
24?
Yeah. She wasn't that old.
No, but she was old. Like, in sitcoms, that's kind of old.
Girl, no, it's not.
Being a kid on a sitcom.
She was not a kid. You just trying to give her an excuse.
What, in her, like, 18 or 19 on the show or something?
No, she wasn't. I just told you.
No, I'm saying her character.
Y'all realize we got a lot more topics.
Okay, but still. I will say,
visitor.
Yeah, exactly. You try to run stuff this whole time.
The age and who's old.
Okay, but I personally, when I first saw her, that was my first thought. But I loved, when I watched the reunion, it made me appreciate her character on the show more. Because Hillary was what black girls were never portrayed as on TV.
Ditzy?
Well, no, but she was the rich black girl that was bougie, and that she was like the black Cher for us.
Right.
So she was like a role that we haven't seen. Normally, the black girls on TV, we are either ghetto or we're trying to be, somebody's baby mama or
just like I'm strong, independent black.
We have
I
an
know
attitude.
all of my history and
brought
nobody
the
can tell me
Bel Air.
anything. And she was just like, my daddy pays for
She
all my
brought the
stuff.
Bel Air.
Yes,
and
she
the wealth,
brought the rich
money.
black girl vibe. Like, she was a staple, and people don't give her that credit.
Hey, out of all of the black shows on TV back then, what is your favorite?
Oh.
Like, let's think. There's Family Matters. There's Good Times. There's Cosby Show. There's Living Single. There's
Living Single's
Martin.
hard.
Oh, so good.
No, but they're
those are
all
different
different like family
time
types.
periods,
It's
too,
like
though.
okay,
Living
so if
Single's
we
like the
just
middle
stick
of the
with
90s.
family
Okay.
and not Friends, it would be Cosby Show. It would be Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Family Matters, Good Times.
You can't put Good Times on the same
They're a
level
family.
as those.
They're a black family.
Good Times is like the OG of all of those shows.
And these
Exactly.
are all different time periods. But
But it doesn't matter because they was
I-
all coming on at the same time.
out of those four, I'm going with Fresh Prince. That's me.
Yeah, I would go with Fresh Prince too.
Which impacted my life. Now, somebody older than us probably is spitting up their food right now. What a good time! You didn't watch a Good Time. No, I did, but
Catch your dentures.
Fresh Prince had a more impact on me personally.
I've seen like here or there shows of like Good Times or like Family Matters, but Fresh Prince,
Family Matters is cool.
Family Matters was good. I love Stefan and Urkel.
Yeah, I mean, you got your Urkel moments, but
Laura
was
Winslow.
Fresh Prince offered a lot more than just a
Cosby
geeky
was
kid
good,
with glasses.
too.
Yeah, Cosby Show probably is the
It's
number
just the
two.
legacy has been ruined, so it's just really hard. for me
Right,
to
and
I
that-
felt like
that's
all
accurate.
4 shows were necessary. If
Well,
you
of
think
course.
about it, I don't know if y'all thought of it this way. Good Times was like poor, struggling, working class, barely getting by black family, but we still love each other and we're strong and we're going to stick together. But here's our struggle. Oh, freaking Jeffersons too. Okay.
Oh yeah.
These were all on at the same time. So there's that. And then there was...
Still going with Fresh Prince. But yeah, those are all...
Would y'all say Family Matters comes after
No,
that?
what was the show with Whitley?
That's a different world, but that's not family.
It's not
It's not
family.
family, but it's still... in
No,
there.
if we can't include Living Single, we can't include them.
No, but what I thought was really powerful that what's her name? Tatiana on the reunion. She said about family, she's like, people kept commenting black excellence when they weren't looking at black excellence in terms of Fresh Prince as, oh, this is a rich black family, but they were looking at as this is a family that loves one another
Right.
in like the black,
Even throughout all their
community.
ups and downs.
You're right. So I feel like with all of those shows, the Cosbys, Family Matters, Good Times, all of them, what they had in common was like family love and that like we can be successful and get along at the same time.
It humanized us in a world that
Yes.
demonized us.
Well, I felt like Family Matters was like the working class black family where like they have like honorable jobs. They're like they don't live in like a rich neighborhood, but like they're like integrated with everybody around them. It's not just a black neighborhood, but
Right.
they're probably like the regular average black family
Middle
during
class.
that time.
Right. So speaking of family, Thanksgiving is coming up.
Transition.
Okay.
Girl.
Okay, KK.
Okay, so we're in Kansas and Missouri, so our Corona rules is you shouldn't have Thanksgiving gatherings. to
Zoom.
not
Yeah,
spread COVID.
you better get on Zoom.
I'm not about to be eating no greens, and
Beans, potatoes, chicken.
On
yeah,
Zoom.
I'm not doing that on Zoom. Like, we're not talking through Zoom. Like, give me a Thanksgiving call like we normally do, like the people out of state. And it's like,
Right.
hey, but
Hey,
my
it could be
family
fun.
in the state, like, y'all tripping. This is y'all don't know who y'all dealing with when y'all tell black people don't meet for Thanksgiving. Okay.
Yeah.
You can hear grandma smacking on one camera and Uncle so-and-so
Our grandmother would
snoring.
never.
Yeah. She doesn't believe in
No, I'm
smacking.
talking about in general, not personalizing it to you.
Thanksgiving I feel really bad though for people whose family You know, like, they're not in close proximity, so they have to spend Thanksgiving alone.
It's real.
Or, like, they have to spend Thanksgiving through Zoom.
What about those college
Zoom.
students that normally would, like, go home with their friends or something because they can't fly to go be with their family on Thanksgiving?
Oh, well, no, because some colleges are out.
Yeah, they're
for
already
the
home.
semester.
A lot of them are already home.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so they don't go back till, like, February.
If
Oh,
that.
dang.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but what about those people who their families don't really get together? So they count on their friends' families. They're not coming for
Someone
Thanksgiving.
just told
I'm letting
me
y'all
that.
know right now.
Someone just told me that their family doesn't feel comfortable gathering, so all of their friends are going to come over their house. I mean, I love my friends, but
I don't know about a Friendsgiving this
I
year.
did one before. The food wasn't the same.
That's a cultural decision. I don't
It
believe.
was disgusting.
melanated
Someone brought out
people do that.
casserole, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, no. At my job, they were like, you guys don't have green bean casserole?
That's
for
what
Thanksgiving?"
they made.
This is another
That is
cultural
not supposed to be
decision.
in a casserole.
No, the word casserole.
The word casserole is a
it's
cultural
just
decision.
nasty.
Yeah. Anywho, well, I already know for Thanksgiving. Okay, so I already know for Thanksgiving we'll be doing our usual.
Are you
So,
going to do Black Friday shopping?
ooh,
I thought that already started.
that should have been canceled. Really?
No, I really think they should cancel it. I'm not a fan. I'm not going to go anywhere.
Watch the corona numbers skyrocket after that. Yeah, I'm not even trying to be negative. I just don't think it's smart.
No, I actually have always liked Cyber Monday. It's just a little bit more convenient. You don't got to deal with people. Put your stuff in your basket and check out, girl. Like,
Your mother will still be there. She
No,
like
she
loves
will.
the event of black shopping.
okay.
Black
well,
shopping.
All right, anywho, so talking about black families, y'all know we got to bring it up every single week. The Braxtons.
The Braxton
Family
family.
value.
Oh.
Why does she do that run at the end? Okay, so this week on the Braxtons, Whitney, I know that you don't watch the Braxtons, but
Why?
we'll
It's
keep you
TV
up to date.
gold.
Get your life. Is that a
Get
term
your
they
life?
use?
No, Tamar she's been a saint all season.
Is
Has
she on
been
the show?
good.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So they still sisters?
What?
Shady.
Don't be doing the Braxtons like that.
Nah, you the one that told me that the sisters be acting shady towards her, so I had to ask a reasonable question.
Okay, well, you make a valid point. I don't know if Tracy is still aware that they're her sisters.
Yeah.
Because
I'd be a little scared of Tracy.
I wouldn't be scared of her. I'd be
Which
like,
one is Tracy?
you need help.
Tracy is
She's the one that wasn't in the group anymore.
The tall one?
No, that's
No.
Tawanda.
I have to
Oh, yeah,
show you a picture
Tawanda.
of Tracy.
Tracy? Which one is one that got the super Baltimore accent?
That's Tracy.
The one that we be making fun of how she talk?
No, that's Trina.
Yeah.
She be like, so.
Yeah,
That's
she
not
got
even
like
Baltimore. I don't even know what it is.
no, she got like Bel Air / Baltimore.
She be like,
It's
I love
About
house. I hate that. Like, But anyway, so this week's episode, she was getting married. First of all, I would have felt some type of way. I know she has a bunch of sisters, but the fact that they walked her out and was holding her train to her dress, that's kind of a special moment.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have did that, but Tracy was drunk. So
She said she wasn't.
she was drunk, you could tell. Her ponytail was just like struggling,
All right,
sticking out.
there's too many T names. So which one was actually getting married?
Trina.
And was she the one that was drunk?
No, Tracy. The sister that she has a problem with everybody right now.
Because
She
She
still
doesn't feel valued.
Yeah, she feels like the ugly duckling Braxton.
She said she feels like the cousin sister.
Yeah. But
And
she
not
just
an
puts
actual
herself in that position. Like, I think she just has some personal issues and she feels less than.
Yeah.
So
another
T word, therapy.
Yep.
actually she went this episode.
Yeah, but my problem with their whole family is they'll go to therapy and then they don't use what they learned in therapy.
I did
That's
watch
because
them
they're
on-
doing it on TV. It's the difference.
Ayamya?
So disrespectful.
Van Zant? No, I was trying to say it.
Iyanla.
Ayam.
You watch them on there?
Yeah, and they weren't, like you said, they weren't receptive to what the game she was kicking.
Well, in this week's episode, they were like walking their sister out, holding her train, and she trips over a plant and fell.
Like plant fell.
Yes, but it was like obvious. And this is supposed to be her sister's special moment. If I was Trina, I would have been like,
oh, she set her
up for that?
Like she did it on purpose?
No, she was drunk. Oh. But she was like, shoot, I haven't even had no drink. I don't even know what that was about. I wish I had a drink. And she's lying. Because in her confessional, she was like, I might have had a little bit. Like, she clearly did. It was bad.
No, first of all, if I was Trina, they would not be carrying my dress. First of all, they all had on different things.
Tony looked a mess.
No, Tony looked great.
No, Tony wore a suit jacket with nothing underneath.
It was like lingerie underneath.
First of all, you don't wear that to your sister's wedding. How disrespectful.
She's Tony Braxton.
It don't matter. When you're at my wedding, Trina Braxton, you're nobody. You're my sister, okay?
And
that's
Tamar
here for support.
looked like she got her dress from Ross. So
okay, because she wasn't trying to outdo her sister on her wedding day.
So she's going to wear the cheapest dress that she's got?
Okay, so when you get married, I'm going to wear a suit coat with lingerie and some heels.
And I will celebrate.
No, you will be ticked off.
No, I won't.
All the groomsmen going to be like, who's that in the front row? I don't care what the bride looking like.
I'm going to be like, oh, I'm hot.
And then
someone take my jacket.
Their dresses collectively did not make any sense for them to be at any part of the wedding.
They weren't in the wedding.
Okay, so they should have stayed that way.
Okay, well, whatever the case, Tracy tripped and fell. Then afterwards, their dad was singing to Trina.
He was trying.
Like, as his tribute. He can't sing. The rest of the family can sing. He can't. But it was special because it was their daddy.
Well, he used to be a pastor, so, a lot of pastors
they think they can sing. But if they're not in the spirit, they can't do it.
He wasn't in the spirit.
So, anywho, he's singing to her, and then he's like, oh, I need help. Oh, Tracy, come over here and help me out. She finishes the song, but she sounded bad too. But whatever. The sisters were laughing at their dad because he couldn't sing, but they were like, oh, but it's sweet though.
The same time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tracy's daughter-in-law was in the audience, and
she's not even a daughter-in-law. She's just I hate when people do that.
Well, no, because her son's engaged.
They're engaged. It's not official. That is his.
They got a whole baby and everything.
WeTV said Kevin and his girlfriend.
Okay, so Lexi feels strongly about that.
I hate when people do that.
Okay, so when Tracy goes back to sit down, the little messy little girl says,
Olivia.
her name's Olivia. She's like, oh, your sisters were laughing at you when you were singing.
She knew what she was doing.
She already is not in a great place with her sisters. You know she already feels inferior to them. Why, on Trina's special day, or just period, would you say that? Do you want to pull her further away from them and you're not 100% sure? If you felt so strongly about it, you should have been like, excuse me, like, are y'all laughing at her? Like you're not really concerned. You're just being messy. She's a kid, of course, compared to the rest of them. But so Tracy gets mad and she like stomps out. She makes a scene. She is like, I'm not freaking with none of y'all, and da-da-da-da, like starts cussing, going off and everything. Like went back to the back. But they could hear her. They're like, what is this commotion? Tamar goes to the back to change her shoes. Tracy gets in her face, and Tamar's like, did I do something? Like, you could tell me. She's like, I'm so sick of you. I'm sick of all of you. Like, she was about to fight her. And at one point, Trina was like, what is the commotion? And she was about to go back there, but they were like, oh, no, it's nothing, because they didn't want her to ruin her wedding day.
Sounds like it was already ruined.
But you don't make a scene like that. Like, it's not about you. Like, and her husband ended up getting her to leave, but he's a punk because he should say something.
He makes me so mad.
Which husband is this?
Remember they were on marriage boot camp.
Kevin is her husband.
What does he look like?
He has dreads.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and but from marriage boot camp, he barely talks and says anything, and you just let her ruin it. Well, come to find out, fast forward, they said she was acting that way because, the Braxton sisters have a brother. You barely see him. But he had kids, and his daughter, she died earlier this year.
I thought it was last year.
Oh, maybe it was last year. Well, she died. She was, really young, too. She was, 20-something. But, Tracy, his sister, she doesn't have any daughters. She just has one son. So his daughter was kind of like her like daughter. Like she was like the second mom, and she had a like close relationship with her, closer than she did with her own sisters. And so the fact that she wasn't there and she's still grieving her death, she said that is her excuse as to why she was acting that way that day and what she was treating everybody that way, and she feels alone and she's scared to accept this is her new reality, that like this other person is not there, and that was the person she was able to lean on. And I'm sorry, I just don't think that's an excuse. Like, I understand people grieve. Like, we've had to grieve both of our grandparents that were like the model grandparents for like, and they died within 6 months of each other, and we weren't evil to people. Like, I just don't think that's an excuse.
It's not.
Like, I think it's horrible and to cuss everybody out. It's horrible. What do y'all think? Like, about grief and the way people treat people?
I definitely think that grief is not an excuse to be a jerk, but I also think, this is what I learned from therapy too, is that sometimes grief can pull you out of your normal character. And so that's where, like, when she did go to her therapy session, I sympathized with her because, okay, she didn't necessarily mean it, but when you're grieving and you're already going through stuff before you started grieving, it's just making it worse. So she kind of has to take that you're not responsible for the fact that the person passed away, but you are responsible for the fact of healing. So I think that whatever she can do to help her grieving process, if it's talking to your sisters, if it's you realizing that your sisters are not going to be perfect. It's not always going to be laughing and giggling. Like, it's not always going to be like that. So, like, having a conversation where you sit down and at least you've done your part. But if you are irritated by the way that your family treats you and you still give them that hateful energy in return, I don't feel bad for you at all.
And if you feel lonely, lashing out at everybody is only going to make you feel even more lonely.
Because nobody wants to be around you.
You have to take the time to grieve. And I think anytime you go through a grieving process, it makes you go through self-reflection.
Yep.
And kind of take a step back from normal day-to-day life. And just, you need to celebrate that person's life first and foremost. Like, celebrate their life, the influence they had on you and your family. And take that time to celebrate their life with your friends and family. Don't push everybody away. The people who are still here in the present, in the flesh, now you're pushing them away because you're mad about the person that has been lost. I don't think that's the way I go about it, but I haven't personally lost somebody that close to me, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'll give her a little bit of leeway because it's not like she could just choose not to go to her sister's wedding because she's grieving. I think that would have been worse, but I probably would have been a little bit more reserved because I know I'm not in the right headspace.
If I know I'm easily triggered when I'm in a certain environment, I just keep quiet. Because if somebody says the wrong thing, you're going to become a completely different person and you're going to regret what you said. So you just step away or just don't be there for that long.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a perfect line that you should probably tell 45. Yep.
Number 45.
He's the Donald?
Got to take the L.
The orange one.
Oh, yeah. The orange one.
Yeah. What did Lexi just say? Just step away. He won't do it.
No.
He's like getting evicted and he just refuses to move.
Hey, boy,
we don't want you.
Just for the record, that's what he's running from. Is he has lawsuits, jail time.
Clink clink.
Lock it down.
More detailed analysis of his tax returns. All of that is waiting on him outside. You will no longer have the protection of the presidency once he's out of there. And if you haven't, for my listeners out there, and I say my because I'm an extended member of this family because I'm related or married to both of you. He and now I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, everybody.
Okay, he's related to you, crazy.
Everybody attached to him is in jail or has corona.
That's true. Oh, that's not funny, but
no, that's facts though. Like hashtag facts.
I only laugh because he was the main person saying that it's not real.
Well, he puts all that negative energy out there and all that angry and he's brought the worst or revealed the worst out of a lot of Americans. So I was just highlighting that, like, Yeah, his day is coming.
My thing is, you're going to go to jail regardless. So
Going to jail now.
I mean, you're either going to go now or you're going to go January the 20th.
You want to go to jail, you want to go home.
Right.
What? You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
That was his theme song on the way out.
Right, but he's refusing. Somebody told me this week, it might have been my mama. She said, I think that he's just trying to, like, lie long enough where people start believing the lie. Like, you know, maybe he does have, like, you know, some, like, realistic claims to this, because he wouldn't just keep going if it was a lie.
He's Donald Trump. Yes, he would.
Yeah. I think I probably try to avoid jail time too. But in the meantime, he's stopping Biden from transitioning. And Biden wants to pass like the HEROES Act, you know, that will help with like stimulus and getting more like PPE supplies out there and generating like funds to different parts of America that have like suffered from this coronavirus pandemic. Freaking, did y'all see, okay, this week, I guess they have, like, Zoom calls with, like, the world leaders, like, not just, like, in America, but all over the world, and all of them were on the Zoom calls. It's some type of, like, briefing they do, and you can watch it on TV.
What time is the Zoom call? That's what I want to know.
I forgot. They were talking about it on CNN, but you can watch it on TV. Well, as soon as they got to the coronavirus portion of the call, all of a sudden, Donald Trump's video just grayed out. He was gone. He went golfing.
Wow.
That's y'all president.
He's not mine.
And it is such a slap in the face. And he's talking about election claims. And yet the numbers are going through the roof.
That's what
I know so many people, like within like, you know, either I know the person or I know the person that knows the person that had coronavirus or they think they have it. Like, people are having to get tests, like, all the time now. I've gotten one test, and that was the most painful test ever. So I'm just trying to avoid the test unless I have to take it again. But, like, it was, like, it's horrible. Like, and it's affecting different people differently. Like, some people are in ICU, and then other people are, like, chilling at home for 3 days, like not feeling well, but they still like had it. They tested positive, but like low key, the people that got it, they're like stay home from work for 2 weeks paid.
What y'all think of the what y'all think of the racial makeup of Biden's transition team?
Okay, so I heard that they're actually like he has a lot of people of color on the team.
Racial and gender, a lot different than 45s.
I think it's necessary. It's about time.
It's groundbreaking. Mm-hmm.
Girl.
It is.
That was your big word for the day?
Yes, groundbreaking.
What's groundbreaking about it?
It's just like history. It's like...
things need to change.
Yes. The things that people well before us fought for are actually happening. Like on a grander scale. Like women used to just protest that we can even vote. But now it's... okay, we're voting for a woman, and then the woman won. That's major.
And now the people that will be helping to make decisions with that woman and that man are other women of color.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm excited. I think what's most frustrating about this whole transition is that I just fail to understand why people still stand behind Donald Trump, because he lacks humanity, like, on a whole...
because they're the same way.
Like, he doesn't care that people are dying. People are losing their jobs. People are, like, can't feed their kids and stuff.
Girl,
like,
he's trying to save
he does
himself.
Not care.
Well, to some people, he represents the anti-politician. He's a businessman that infiltrated politics and was like trying to change all the politics behind, like... some people look at him as a guy that was going to change the system, but really he just messed everything up, and then he left and went golfing.
And now I feel sorry for Biden because he has a lot
of work to do.
Seems so like every time a Democrat comes in, they got to clean up the mess.
Yep. Okay, y'all know what is so interesting to me? So this week, Obama had like a sit-down conversation with Oprah. Now, it looks like they were in the same room.
Obama.
Yeah, President Obama had a sit-down conversation with Oprah. And this is like after like the election. It's real time. It wasn't like pre-recorded a long time ago. And she was basically asking him about like his presidency, like how does he feel about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and like them winning, and do you think they'll be able to make a difference, yada yada yada. He was asking like what effect his presidency had on his marriage, his kids, all of that. And
he had a book coming out.
Yeah, he had a book coming out, but like during this time, like I would love to hear from him.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was interesting the way they did it, because he was actually sitting in a room with a green screen and Oprah was like at her house, but the green screen made it look like he was sitting in a chair across from her and he was having a conversation with her, like as if it was a face-to-face interview.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice. So it wasn't like a Zoom style, which we're getting tired of seeing. But anyway, so in the interview, he talked about how, like, as the president, every single morning he would get, like, a briefing book to look at, which is basically, these are all of the things that are happening in the background, all the fires that are happening. You know, there might be a bomb here, there might be a shooting here, here's a terrorist threat, da-da-da-da. Stuff they will never hear about because he has to make decisions in the background to stop those things from happening. That is what he gets with his morning coffee every single morning. You're literally hit with bad news.
Well, Trump gets the same thing.
He just don't do anything
Barack
about
Obama
it.
just actually took it serious. Like,
Yeah.
if Obama got something like Corona on that same book, we assume he would have taken it seriously. Well, Barack Obama and Biden set up the
task force.
The task force for disease and things like that.
Infectious diseases. Yeah,
right. That Trump's shut down.
Yeah. And I just think, like, because Barack Obama was saying, like, you know, basically people criticize you and it's like, you could have did more, you could have did this, you could have did that, having no idea that, like, he stopped a lot of bad things from happening we just didn't know about in the background. Like, have y'all ever watched Scandal?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm married to you.
To watch Scandal.
Yeah.
Okay, so like on Scandal, they would basically like shut down like a lot of bad things from happening before they got out to the public. And that's exactly what Obama did. So I have more faith in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris like doing that. I'm actually really excited. I don't expect them to be perfect. I don't feel like they're the saviors of our world, but they're getting us back to a normal place. Like when it gets to the point where China is saying congratulations to President-elect Joe Biden, I'm like, y'all, they sick of Trump. Like sick of him.
Their biggest opponent is going to be Mitch McConnell, who's the Speaker of the House. He's a person who did a lot to prevent Barack Obama from doing what a lot of people thought he should have done. He's the Speaker of the House, so that they're going to have to really work on their bipartisan relationships, but from what I hear, Biden and Kamala Harris are really willing to work with the other side of the rope, the Republicans. Yeah, Kamala. I can't say anything.
Yeah, that's
her name is Kamala.
Hey, man, y'all act like y'all don't mispronounce or
No, I hate when people say her name is Kamala.
I hate that.
She is not a camel. Her name is Kamala.
Okay.
Chameleon.
Don't be so disrespectful.
But y'all laughing, though. Next topic.
Okay, no. What I was saying, first of all, he be trying to run our show, okay? Excuse me, I'm speaking.
You are not the director.
Okay. Now.
I hope you are speaking. Go.
Okay. See, look, he's still trying to do it.
Fight today?
I got to represent for the men, man. Y'all outnumbering me.
Oh, my goodness. No, one thing I did want to say is Mitch McConnell, he might not give them that hard of a time because, remember, they were giving Barack a hard time not only because he was Democrat, but he was a black man. Like somebody in Congress or Senate, one of them called him a tar baby and got away with it. But them working with another white male, they may be more apt to like make things happen. So it's also about that too. So hey,
we'll see.
I'm hopeful. But speaking of like transitioning to like a new person in charge. Did y'all hear about them offering DC Young Fly like a crazy amount of money to take over and become the host of Wildin' Out?
They tried it.
8 figures.
8 figures for it was Viacom that reached out. And so DC Young Fly's response was no, I'm not doing it. Like, and he's young. He has like a brand new baby. Like he has a girlfriend. And then he has, a 2-year-old? Or is she 4?
She's like 2.
Something like that. But either way, kids cost a lot of money. Mm-hmm. He has the 85 South show. Like, he's been doing good. He's been in movies and things. But that would be an excellent opportunity for him. But I respect him for turning it down because he was like, no, like, Nick gave me a chance. So why would I, like, do him like that? Like, oh, yeah, I'm just about to take your spot. Because they offer me the money and we can move on without you. Like, I think that's loyalty. Some people might think it's stupid because it's that's money, but they would like own him. Like,
I see the loyalty thing too, but I also kind of like DC being like a part of a show instead of a host of a show. No shade to him, but when he was on TRL, that wasn't it.
Yeah, didn't that flop?
Yeah, so I feel like him.
But TRL days have been over.
But he could have revived. Somebody could revive TRL.
They tried to set him up for success, and from what I understand,
people just don't watch music videos like that anymore.
Yeah, it ain't
but they
all
need
him,
to take like the concept of TRL and change it or something because it can come back. That first of all, TRL should have came back during Corona. I mean, I don't even know how I got off into this tangent about TRL, but I think that DC, he's better as like a support. He's like the funny addition to everything. I don't think he's like host.
He's good with the group. Looks like in 85 South. Like,
yes.
Like you need Carlos there.
Some people are lead singers and some people are better in groups as singers.
Or maybe some people are like second vocal leads.
Yeah. He's good in a group.
What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his own soul?
Preach.
That's what I have to say about the situation. So respect to DC Young Fly.
Yes.
He did mention that only way he would have accepted it is if like Nick Cannon would have handed it down to him himself.
That's how you do it as a real man. You gotta to be the man. You gotta beat the man. So the actual creator, because he's the creator. I don't know what situation he has with Viacom.
Like he created the show.
That's what
funded
was kind of disappointing because obviously he doesn't own the rights to the show.
And
so
he
now they
could
can do whatever
afford
they want to do.
Like he should have. He
should
had
have
too much
negotiated
loyalty
that.
to the
Well,
company.
it's been in existence since the middle 2000s. So he was younger. He probably his business acumen wasn't what it is now.
Like Wild 'N Out is Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
I just think they're losing a lot of ratings, especially if that would have been on during Corona. Like they could have made a lot of money. Like they could have even quarantined in some type of way and had new episodes. But I digress. All them people lost their jobs. DC could have brought them all back, but I understand why he didn't.
I don't think they would have came back. They would have had the same mindset as DC.
I don't think so. I think some of them would have been.
They would have.
They're hurting right now. So
yeah, especially comedians. Like they're used to going out on the road.
Everybody doesn't have an 85 South show or stand-up comedy events to fall back on.
If anything, I feel like celebrities, there should be their lesson learned to have some type of extra income.
That should be everybody's lesson learned.
Well, that's true.
But y'all know what? DC, he is going to be blessed beyond measures because remember, he did the same thing when Carlos Miller got fired from Wild 'N Out. Mm-hmm. He said, bring him back. I will take a pay cut just so you can pay
Said
him.
it on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, and like Carlos didn't even know. He didn't even tell him. Like, he was just like, I'm willing to sacrifice. So he just has loyalty all around. And now he was in the streets like before he was, you know, on Wild 'N Out. So maybe sometimes that's like a little bit like a street, like street loyalty, like whatever.
He's just a man of integrity because we all know that's where the term snitch and all this stuff comes from. Everybody don't got integrity in the streets.
Yep. Well, I think he's going to do great. I think personally, back to Fresh Prince, that's what some of the cast should have said. If OG and Viv can't come back, we're not coming back. They're not going to get rid of everybody. She could have been there.
They wasn't doing that. They were still laughing and giggling with the new Aunt Viv.
I think that's the importance of building relationships.
Well, they also didn't like her at the time. So probably
but if she would have built a relationship with them, then they would have understood. She would have been like, I got to tell you what's happening at home. They would have been able to vouch for her.
They didn't like her at the time. It was easier to be like, okay, bye.
Yeah, I still vote OG on Viv. But
I do as well, but if everybody around you don't know what you're going through, it's hard for them to vouch for you.
This is true.
Dropping gems.
Okay, so everybody around you. Breonna Taylor. Say her name.
Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
There was a special. I don't know what channel it was on.
I think it was on regular
Some
TV.
News channel.
Was it ABC?
Yeah, one of them regular TV channels.
Yeah, Whitney, you watched it with me. Can you break it down, like, basically?
Are you laughing because I said regular TV or because I was just
It's just a
breathing
side
in
of
the mic?
bougie.
No, that's just what I call. I've always called like ABC, NBC. I just say that's regular TV.
It's like the
There's
TV
cable.
box
There's
channels.
cable TV and then there's regular TV. Right?
Got it.
And antenna TV for some of y'all.
Antenna TV. Yeah, our grandmother just upgraded from antenna TV. So
I
praise the
kind of
Lord.
enjoyed grandmother's antenna
I hated
TV.
it. Okay, we had to turn the TV a certain way for it to like work. Anywho, Breonna Taylor. Whitney, can you explain? Like, give us a little summary of it.
They kind of had like not really a documentary, but a special on Breonna Taylor and kind of the history behind her current boyfriend's relationship, and then her relationship with an ex-boyfriend who was a suspected lower level or mid-level drug dealer. So I don't really know if they were trying to prove that she was involved with him or not, but from the
he
cops,
would show up at her house.
From the cops' perspective, they were saying that they were investigating his involvement with her. They thought her house was a spot that he was holding certain items at, illegal items. So they were watching her house. They were watching his house. He did come out of her house with a package at some point, but it was like an Amazon box. They suspected that might have been some sort of paraphernalia. So from what it sounds like, that was enough for them to make a no-knock warrant to come to her house and shoot the club up.
Yeah, and she was in the crossfire. She was in the hallway, and they shot her and
What
killed
really
her.
stood out to me, and that's what we know as a story, they showed some actual footage of that night. I don't really know how they got that, but anyway.
The news was there by then.
So as they're arresting the current boyfriend, he's like literally crying, like, y'all just killed my girlfriend, and they're like telling him to shut up and get on your knees and all this kind of stuff, like no remorse. And then they interviewed Michael Strahan, former football player. Michael Strahan was interviewing one of the cops, and he's basically explaining the whole way.
He's like the deputy or something, like one of the head people.
And his whole position
sheriff.
the whole time was just like, yep, we
doing
were in the
our
right.
job.
We were doing our job. We're doing our job.
Basically, she was guilty by association. Like, she was in the way.
And he even tried to blame the current boyfriend at some point. He said something like, if he didn't put her in the hallway or something, then
She was in her house.
right.
Like, y'all didn't have
Maybe
a reason.
Don't shoot in the hallway.
They didn't even have enough evidence to go and search. You seen him come out of her house with one package. Go to a trap house. Right. Like, if you did your research, you would know that she was the EMD. Like, she didn't have any like bad criminal history or anything like that. And for them to just like barge in and then shoot her, not even an apology, and then like after all this time, they still, like, he's just out free doing interviews and everything. If I was Michael Strahan, I would not have been able to finish that interview.
No.
Yeah, there were 3 officers, and they interviewed one of them.
My thing is, like, when they enter, do you got to enter to shoot or kill? Like, can't you?
They didn't have to enter and start shooting. Like, there was no threat towards them. Like,
right.
Yeah, from what I understand, there was a gunfight, and the boyfriend actually hit one of the cops. But his position is that it was a no-knock warrant. He said they didn't announce themselves. They said they did announce themselves. It's from what the evidence I can see, because I'm a detective myself. I don't think he's gonna shoot if he really knows that there's cops at his door. But if it's 1:00 in the morning and someone is jiggling the door and he doesn't know who they are and he's saying announce yourself and they're not, he's fired shots and they fired back, and unfortunately we lost Breonna Taylor. So basically it sounds like it was all over drugs that were assumed to be there. Like
they didn't even have proof that it was there.
We're giving cops the ability to do no-knock warrants and things like that.
It wasn't their first time for that division of police, like getting in trouble for like their dangerous warrants.
And this is Louisville, Kentucky.
It's horrible.
Their precinct, they're known for doing no-knock warrants. They show other footage of them going into another house that was, of course, all black people, poor black people.
And the kids were screaming and crying,
so
scared.
They're traumatized. I'm sure some of our listeners can identify situations like this where their house has been raided and things like that. And so moving forward, the only charges that they brought against the officers
were for the neighbors.
And they said it on the show. They said for the white neighbors, they basically were endangering the white neighbors.
Their house had gotten shot into because it was like a duplex or apartment or something like that.
So they brought charges against them like, you put white people in danger.
But
you
none,
killed a whole black woman.
None for the person that died or the man that was in there with her boyfriend. So I'm just like, are y'all serious? Nothing.
At all.
But they have given the family, what is it, like a $12 million like payout or settlement,
That's what they don't
from
understand.
the city.
That money is not
going to bring her back.
No, money's not going to bring her back. Money is not going to solve the issue or the problem. Money is not going to do that. Like, if I was her family, that would be my exact words. Like, money is not going to do anything.
That's the question we have to ask ourselves. If we find ourselves in that situation, who's going to take the money and who's not? And everybody lying if they say they don't.
I feel like taking the money is you saying my family member that got killed is worth this dollar amount.
Okay, so what if there's no other option? What if, okay, just like the O.J. Simpson case, like it was like, oh, not guilty, but then when they took it,
civil suit,
they
found him guilty in a civil suit,
and they got money.
Yep.
So what if it was like,
but
that's
they pursued that themselves. The cops didn't come say, hey, here's some money to settle if you just be quiet. They pursued that civil suit against O.J. and won. So that's a kind of different situation, but yeah, I see
okay, but they're still getting money. Like, they still don't have their family member.
No.
So, like, if you knew the police was already doing shady business, and like we had already seen, like, George Floyd stuff had just happened, like, right before that, and that was on video for like 7 minutes and something seconds.
8 minutes.
Yeah, so that was like the George Floyd thing was like right before that. So it's like, if you know that the cops are going to cover it up, if this is normal for your city, then would you be like, well, dang, should we even try? I mean, we all watched the Trayvon Martin thing, the trial on TV, and Zimmerman got off for that.
Gotta go fund me.
That's why it boils my blood. I don't know if I shared this, the episode before, or, the first one. But I actually had 2 coworkers tell, like, they were talking and they thought that, that me and another black girl that worked there, they thought that we were far away where we couldn't hear them. And I had just started, I think I was like 19 or something at work, and I didn't know what to do. And now looking back, being older, I'm like, why didn't I say something?
What did they say? What did they do?
Said, Black Lives Matter is just another reason for black people to be sensitive. And me and the other black girl looked at each other and we're like, did you just hear that? And she's like, yeah, I heard that. And then she was like, but that's just how they are because they grew up in a racist town. And so she's like, just leave it alone. And so me at that time, I was like, I wasn't used to that. I grew up around black people and white people and all kinds of people because of growing up in the suburbs. So I wasn't used to that. And I wasn't like, now I'm mad at myself that I didn't say something. And so then I've been working with these same people for years, and there was one of them where she's like, yeah, I don't support Trump even though I voted for him the first time. And come to find out the week of election, she's like, I can't wait for us to win again. And it's just hurting how many people try to act like they care about your life or they care about your family's life or how they're a changed person because you want to think of them as a changed person when really people, they change when they want to change. And I think that was the most upsetting part is if I could go back now when that was said, then I would say you think that we're sensitive, but you don't know what it's like to lose someone that looks just like you, or that could be your family, or that could be your brother, or that could be your sister.
They're literally being slaughtered, and
exactly.
It's okay.
Like, literally, your race is viewed like open season, and like nobody cares and nobody understands. And instead of people understanding, they call us sensitive. When we're not sensitive, we just want to be valued and cherished. Like, the way you value our culture, value our life the same.
All lives don't matter if black lives don't matter.
Period.
Yeah, if one segment doesn't matter, then you can't say all lives matter. it's not sensitive to say, "Hey, stop killing us." Hey, for when and the people that do kill us, can you give them a fair time in court to be tried and convicted as murderers?
Yes.
Stop murdering us in the street. I don't think that's
I don't have
sensitive.
any hope for the system. When Trayvon Martin, there was no justice for his death, and George Zimmerman was out here signing Skittles and tea. No.
Well, that's the real argument we're having here. So people are worried about bad cops or good cops or bad judges or good. It's not about people. It's about the system in place. It's broken.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the system that doesn't support us.
It wasn't ever built
And
to.
what makes me so mad is that one of the girls that told me that, she was a minority too. But she grew up in a racist town where she viewed herself as being white, so she felt like she was white.
All
No,
skin
sis,
folk
happens
ain't
a
kinfolk.
lot.
you're a minority. You have curves just like the rest of us.
All
Your
skin
eyebrows
folk
are
ain't
different.
kinfolk.
Your hair is different and everything. So that just makes me so mad.
So we're pretty disgusted with what happened with Breonna Taylor. Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Did I
You
say
say her
wrong?
name. I
Oh,
said her
I'm sorry.
name.
Y'all been correcting me the whole show, so I just had to make sure I said it right.
We have communication degrees.
Sorry.
Communication degrees. Well, since you guys have communication degrees, how did you think? What did you think of the Jeezy versus Gucci?
That was an odd transition.
I mean, I'm a guest. Y'all put me to work immediately, but I did it.
All right, Lexi, do you know who Jeezy is?
I do know who Jeezy is, and it's not just because he's dating Jeannie Mai. Jeezy is a rapper, OG rapper. I didn't realize how much of his songs I actually knew until you guys were talking
Okay, when you
about
hear
it.
Jeezy, both of y'all, what is the first song that comes to mind?
Oh.
Oh, well, I mean, I know Jeezy, so
I don't know his, I know his songs,
Trap
but I
or
didn't know
Die.
that they were by him.
Trap or
Let's just say
Die,
that.
or yeah.
When I hear him, the first thing that comes to mind is Akon and Young Jeezy.
Yes, okay.
Trying to take it easy.
Yeah, I was listening to him prior to that, so that's why it doesn't.
Well, just when I hear
resonate
his
with me.
name, that's like the song that goes through my head.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so do you know
Can't ban the
Gucci,
snowman.
Lexi?
Do I know who?
Gucci.
I thought he was brand new. When he came on BET with his wife and they showed.
That is
I'm
disrespectful.
How did this new rapper get a show?
Hillary Banks.
Clearly, let's bring it back around. No, Gucci was like the soundtrack of my college life.
Okay,
Exactly.
name a song. Maybe I might know.
The Lemonade song. And then Freaky Girl. She's a very freaky girl. She
Okay,
get
I know
it from
that
my
song.
mama.
Yeah, you know that, Lexi.
First you get a name.
Gucci
then
Mane.
You get a number. Okay.
Jeezy's more so. He out the gate. He did have a mixtape, but he eventually got a deal with Def Jam, so he had a major label deal out the gate. He has personal relationship with Jay-Z and Jay-Z on his songs and things like that. He had a history with BMF, the Black Mafia Family. I think that's what it stands for. So he's had a more major label out in front commercial type of career.
But they do have a song together.
Yeah, and that it started with So Icy, which
So
was
I
actually
said,
so after they had made that song together and had commercial success or underground success, Gucci named his label So Icy. So he was the
So
owner.
Icy Entertainment. Gucci.
Right, which led into Brick Squad, which led into such artists as OJ the Juice Man or Waka Flocka Flames. Those were
Waka
all,
Flocka
I don't really
Flame.
feel the-
Waka Flocka
all
I
Flame.
really
under
like
Gucci
Waka
Mane.
right now.
What?
well, he's not really making
I
music
love
anymore.
Waka.
I don't like Waka because he supports Trump, allegedly.
He's lost right now, okay?
So is his mama.
They all them rappers and entertainers that support Trump, especially the black ones, they're
They-
just thinking about their taxes
Exactly.
and things like that.
He
That's all
just
that
don't
is.
want to struggle again.
Especially Little Pump.
First of all, I don't even know
Little
what Little
Pump.
Pump is. He needs to go.
First of all, his name is Little Pimp, and Trump introduced him as Little Pump.
He's my African American.
He's my
Hey,
African American.
American. Come here, son.
Okay, so they had verses. This was like a huge deal because they have been enemies for like 15 years, and rightfully so. I didn't know the history until it was explained during the verses, but like they literally could not be in the same room together. So people were really shocked that they were doing the verses on stage. Now, mind you, they weren't right next to each other like Monica and Brandy and some of the other acts. Like not like Kurt Franklin and Fred Hammond. Like they couldn't kumbaya like that. There was a space in between them. They actually did it at Magic City Strip Club. So there was but like the strippers weren't out. But
they were there. They just weren't out.
Yeah.
Did they have face mask on when they were out?
Nobody.
No, nobody did.
On. Except for Rick Ross.
And then afterwards, they all went to a club, which was the Compound, and nobody was wearing face masks.
I mean, not that I would ever participate in a strip club, but do you think the strippers would have face masks on?
They're unemployed right now.
No, I did see on a local news source that strippers were outside.
Outside like dogs.
They
were having drive-by strip.
No.
Bonanzas.
Maybe they had like private.
Y'all need to write them a check if that's the case, because they out here risking their health stripping in the cold.
They had curbside
Well, they've been
strippers.
risking their health. You can get the flu before all this.
Curbside strippers.
Okay, so enough of that. Well, like a lot of Jeezy and Gucci songs are like kind of like strip club anthem songs. Like they're like the beats to them. Actually, the beats make most of their songs, to be totally honest. Like they're really catchy. Now, on top of that, they can both rap. But Jeezy has like a lot of like old hits, but they're big hits though. Like when you hear it, like he gets hype. He was dancing and performing on stage. Gucci is just Gucci down from head to toe. He's so chill. He literally looks like $1 million. And
the overarching theme of the whole thing is that Jeezy, like that guy was getting to earlier, Jeezy has resonated more with the outside world through radio hits and things like that. But for people who call themselves from the street, and particularly from Atlanta, Gucci Mane resonates more with them in their hearts. Like people from Atlanta all say Gucci Mane won. And Gucci Mane has actually put on a lot of the younger rappers that are prevalent now, like Young Thug and a lot of these guys. They all reference Gucci as the person that puts them on. So his stamp on the rap game is a lot larger than what a lot of people realize.
Okay, well in my book, Gucci won.
No, I'm a Gucci Mane fan. I'm a fan of both, but Jeezy actually won the battle in terms of song selection and things like that. But I did love, and some people were probably cringing and like, oh my God, he's so immature. But I did love when Gucci Mane performed The Truth, and he said, dig your partner up. That was very entertaining.
That's horrible.
Okay,
yeah.
So I think
if you know the backstory,
for that reason alone, Gucci wins. The fact that he showed up to the battle, he wins, number one. Because years ago, and I learned this from the songs, the diss songs, they did the Icy song together. Jeezy wanted to put it on his album, but it was actually Gucci's song, so he didn't let him do it.
And they didn't want to pay Gucci for the song.
Exactly. So then Jeezy puts it out there. I got $10,000 for whoever could come back and bring me Gucci's chain. Well, in order to get this chain off this grown man's neck, you gonna have to kill him. So he put a bounty on his head for $10,000. So
a gentleman by the name of Pookie Loke took that offer, apparently. And
some other people were involved, too.
And they went to Gucci Mane's house.
His house, invaded his privacy while he was intimate with a woman.
Was it that deep?
Involved with a young... We're giving the background, Lexi, so everybody can understand. So,
no, I'm saying, was it that deep for the chain?
We're talking about the streets.
Yeah.
Streets.
It was, I don't know.
Everything doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, and it's dangerous.
Street
but
atmosphere. But
yeah,
anyway, that's
they
what
were trying
was.
to catch him in a vulnerable position while he ain't have on no clothes and get rid of him.
But
I don't think that's a good reason to. You make another song.
They were the ones that actually were caught vulnerable.
Make another song.
And Gucci Mane actually killed one of the guys and buried him.
Yeah.
Himself.
And
he buried him himself. So
then got off because it was self-defense. And then made a diss track about it and was like, I buried your partner and he can't say anything. And yeah.
Well, and so yeah, a lot of people were referencing, oh, he said he has $10,000 on worth of Gucci. But the reason he said that, because that was the amount, as my wife referenced, that's the amount Jeezy put on his head. So in Gucci Mane's frame of mind, it's like, I'm here, I survived, I got $10,000
walking
worth
around
of
like
clothes
happy
on.
to be walking around the stage.
I got $5 million worth of jewelry on in your face.
Yeah, and so after the song came on, he was performing it to Jeezy's face, like while he was doing it. Like, you have to watch that part of the battle if you don't watch nothing else. And right afterwards, he was talking to him, and he was like, yeah, like, your partner, what he got to say, he can't say nothing. And if you want to send 3 more my way, I'll bury them and put them in a box too. Tonight, we'll be smoking Pookie or whatever. Yeah, Pookie Low. And then he was like, free kill.
Jeezy responded,
yeah,
I'm a grown man.
Okay, grown man that tried to kill me.
Yeah, exactly. I came to you as a grown man, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. But it did come back with, I'm a realist in it. You already know.
You know that song, I'm the realist in it.
It was a
you
great
already
You
know,
talk about
got
transitions.
top of the year 4 times in a row.
Amazing transition. You can't take that away from Jeezy. So it looked like he was prepared.
He was a better transitioner than Lexi.
He was prepared for Gucci to play those diss songs, so he led into one of his bigger hits.
But I was nervous watching it. I'm like, shoot, did they check him at the door for guns?
A lot of people were nervous.
No, I feel like Jeezy and his team probably prepared him for that.
Well,
they probably did, but
they were both prepared because, like we referenced at the end, they ended on "So Icy," which is a song they both rapped on, and what was the start of both of their careers mostly.
So if you ask me, I don't care about none of the songs that Jeezy played, even though they were better, like song wise. You know, he probably did win.
I feel like Gucci left a lot on the
won.
table. He left a lot of songs that real Gucci fans know.
He did, but he wasn't there for that.
No, he was there for the street, the gangster stuff.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'm going to show up. I'm not scared of you. That's one reason probably to show up. And then 2, like some people like me out there like hadn't heard those diss songs before. So he played the 2 diss songs back to back too. The second one explained exactly what happened. And I just feel like people was like, that was wrong for Gucci, and rappers are out here dying and killing each other. But like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't care if it's been 15 years. I don't know that I could get over you sending somebody to kill me. Like, I could not be here. He got a whole baby on the way now.
For killing
self-defense.
No, it's self-defense. It was his life or the dude's life. Over a chain, over a song. Are you kidding me? He got a whole wife now with a baby boy on the way. That could not be his reality. And now you want me to act like everything's cool and do this verses with you and like sing your songs? Like, no, if I come, okay, I'll accept the olive branch, but I'm going to say what's real. I don't even care about these songs. So stop trying to make it seem like you're all this, and that, and kumbaya at home with Jeannie Mai. She clearly don't know who you used to be.
So basically, overall, in the Morgan household, we're riding with Gucci Mane.
We're riding. Lexi, vote.
But Jeezy won the battle.
I'm going to have to go with Jeezy based off of the information that I've gathered. I really chose not to, I'm not a fan of either one of them, so.
So you're going to go with the dude that tried to kill him?
He's changed.
Girl. Okay.
He's mature.
So since we're going to transition out of this to our like norms that we do every week, what is y'all music pick of the week?
Okay, so all week, I know we just got done talking about Jeezy and Gucci Mane, but I've been listening to Done by One House.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Sealed in Heaven.
Yes, it's so good.
That's a good song.
It's one of my ministry inspirations. In my head, she's like a mentor. I just haven't sat down with her
but
yet
we
in
met
life.
her.
Yeah, but we did meet her. Sarah Jake's church in LA. It's their praise team song, Done by One House. I've also been listening to Queen Naja. It's just a good album.
I am on Queen Naja, and I'm also on I just went back and started downloading a bunch of Jeezy and Gucci because some stuff I forgot about. You know how like, for instance, even like all the people that have had verses, like Brandy versus Monica, it's like, oh, I forgot about that song.
Oh
I
my
don't even
gosh,
have that.
Commitment by Monica.
Yeah, it like makes you be like, oh, dang, I appreciate that. So I've been listening to that. Whitney, what about you?
I had to go back and listen to the soundtrack in my college, so a lot of Gucci Mane mixtapes I've been on.
Yeah.
As far as recent albums, I've been listening to the new Busta Rhymes Extinction Level Event 2, and then T.I.'s new album, The Libra.
I heard that was good.
I cannot remember what the Libra stands for right now,
just don't really
but
care
both
for
of them.
T.I.
Check it out. It's actually not what you would think a quote unquote T.I. album is. It has a lot of involvement from like his daughters and his son and a lot of people who are close to him. It's I would say it's a new classic. It's a classic album.
What is it called?
The Libra.
Okay. Really quick here, y'all. Netflix pick of the week or any streaming channel. I'll start with mine. Hulu, Little Fires Everywhere was amazing.
Oh, what is that?
With Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington. So freaking good. I don't know how to explain it without telling you and spoiling it. So go watch it.
So I have the cheap Hulu, like the $5.99.
That's the one I have.
Kind. I did not know that if you have Hulu, you can go back and watch current shows the next day.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So what you been watching?
I've been watching Toto Bellas. They come on Thursdays, but I watch on Fridays on Hulu. Like, that is, wow.
Okay.
I wish they would put the Braxtons on Hulu, though, so then I don't have to go back and watch on DVR.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I watch so much TV with my wife, and I forget what we watch. The last thing I can remember us watching that was good to me was actually on the Urban
Movie Channel. Yeah.
What's the name of that show?
Was it Monogamy?
Yeah, Monogamy.
Yeah, but we watched something else on there, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff on there. It's
was
underrated.
It Ambition or something?
No, that's on Stars.
So everyone
we
knows.
watch P-Valley on Stars, too.
Yeah, P-Valley. Check out P-Valley.
What?
Well,
Awkward.
if you know the...
No.
Yeah.
So everyone knows that I'm a huge Real Housewives fan, and Real Housewives is coming back in 2 weeks.
Oh, my
I'm
Lord.
so hyped.
Okay, yeah.
Real World Challenge is coming back as well.
Yep. Okay,
Wow.
yeah, we're going to have to close it out because I want some ice cream. So,
yeah.
question of the day. I purposely don't tell y'all so that it can be straight off the top of your head.
Okay.
Quick response. What color represents your life right now?
Pink.
Because?
Pink because it's vibrant. Pink because I look at pink as the color of strength, being that it is the color for breast cancer awareness. And both my mom and grandmother, which are also yours, they both survived the breast cancer. So when I think of the color pink, I just think of this as like I survived a lot from the last season that I was in life, and this is my time to just like be myself and be bright about life and not look at my current circumstances as far as like the pandemic is going on, but just,
Go ahead.
but just choose to just look at all the things that God has still blessed me with and is continuing to bless me with. And so the color pink represents my season
say
of
short
life.
answer.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry.
Whitney?
I'm going to go with Till. We all have shirts that say Life Reset on right now. So, and the Till is the color of the reset. It embodies, shout out to Faith City Christian Center. But we recently had men's and women's encounters, and we took the time to reset from the mundane, from what we're currently going through in the world through the pandemic and people losing their jobs and people just life as we know it has changed, and so we can either sit back and wallow in that, or we can reset our mind, reset our relationship with God, and attack this thing full on with the full confidence and the full armor of Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior.
Yes,
I,
Jesus.
2 minutes means nothing to y'all.
We're
okay?
black.
Amen. That's powerful. Both of us.
Oh my Lord. Okay, so mine's is about to be mediocre. Mine's is I'm thinking forest green.
Oh.
And look at it on a color spectrum of green. You know, the dark green that's going to fade to the light green. I'm at the forest green because I'm, like, ready to go. But I'm not, like, right there at the tip of the light green. That's, like, the green light means go. I'm, like, transitioning. Like, transitioning right now. And that's, like, you know, like, financially, like, mentally, like...
My hands is itching, and she's talking about green, so
yeah,
the Morgan household is about to be blessed.
Yeah, like, I'm determined, but, like, when it gets to green, like, that's, like, put your foot on the gas. And so, like, I'm transitioning into it because 2020 has been, like, a crazy year. And there's so much coming up, too, like, with the holidays and things like that. But, like, I'm just ready to get beyond it. But, like, I can't say, like, I'm on green right now. But it's a transition. Plus, it's just, like, a really good fall color. And it's feeling real fallish.
That wasn't mediocre.
Not at all.
Well, y'all's was spiritual.
Way to bring it
That's
home.
spiritual. You included God.
You said a word.
This is why He has destined you to be the transitioner of the show. He's preparing you and molding you for a transition.
Excuses so that you don't have to transition. But anyways, let me go ahead and transition out. This has been another great episode of Excuse Me, I'm Speaking. We want to take out the time to thank my husband.
Thank you.
Mr. Whitney Morgan. Yes. We want to thank you for coming. I'm sure you'll be back for plenty more.
Beautiful black queens for having me.
And if my future husband is listening, you know, just take your time like God mold you and stuff.
Hey, come
but
join
don't take
us.
Forever, okay?
Come join us. We'll have For the Love of Lexi on the show, and we can interview you. So, But anywho, signing out. Excuse me, I'm no longer speaking. I'm out of here. Adios.
Boca.
Holla, boo boo.
Boo boo, ciao.